Good morning everyone, welcome to the stream. I hope you're all doing okay today and that you are ready for some more The House in Fata Morgana. My voice is a little bit raspy today, I feel like. Not really sure if it's just because I woke up quite recently or if it's something else, if it's coming up with something. I have no idea, but we'll see how this goes. My hope is that we will be able to finish door 3 today. It's my ambition that we will, but we'll see how it goes, because I don't really remember how much longer door 3 is. I feel like we're getting closer to the end part, but yeah, my memory is a little bit fuzzy, so we'll see. But last time the white-haired girl got a quite big lashing from her husband Jacopo. He was yelling at her and accusing her of cheating and all kinds of stuff, and was just not listening to her at all. And now she is being locked up in a shed in the garden, and that's where we left off. So she's not having a good time, that's for sure. Yeah, so I think we should just jump right into it. And as always, tell me if there's something wrong with the sound and I will fix it for you. But hopefully it will be fine. How? How did things end up this way? Why? All I wanted was to go back to the way things used to be. For us to be able to smile around each other. Poor girl. It had been several days since Jacopo had locked her in the shed, and her day-to-day life was only growing more arduous. She was under constant surveillance. The door was only unlocked to deliver her meals 3 times a day. And despite what an unfortunate situation their employer's wife found herself in, the maids chattered and gossiped and giggled freely. Not even in the shadows, out of her presence, the tactless young maidservants whispered directly to the white-haired girl when they brought her meals. "Look at you, madam, caged like a cattle." I could almost hear the sound of cracks forming in her heart. I imagined she had gotten to a point where she was having difficulty merely holding herself together. She had done nothing wrong, and yet she was forced to live this life of insults and mockery, of ridicule. The only reason her tenuously held together spirit did not completely shatter was because she still had her one and only ally. The maid Maria volunteered to attend to the white-haired girl. Maria took over the duty of delivering her 3 meals, meaning the other maids stopped coming by, and that relieved the white-haired girl's mental and emotional stress considerably. Maria became her sole conversation partner, her sole companion. She did not leave as soon as meals were finished, instead remaining in the shed with the white-haired girl for some time. So, madam, how about a funny story? I flubbed up pretty hard the other day. You wanna hear about that? So, a couple of days back, I didn't get enough sleep the previous night, right? I'm helping out in the kitchen, half awake, plating up some food. And when I go to bring it out to the guest, my heart about leaves out of my mouth. Guess why? What I thought was a plate was actually an ashtray. Man, was I sweating like a pig. The guests didn't seem to notice, but the other maids were pale as ghosts the entire time. Just about everyone had themselves a case of the vapors. I got quite a tongue lashing at cleanup. Pretty funny, huh? Oh, did you? Sounds like it was a pretty bad day. Yeah. Hey, madam? I know there's not much point in telling you to cheer up right now, but I'm sure he won't keep you locked up forever. He's just a bit crabby for now. It'll be alright. Although, I guess this is a bit drastic for a temper tantrum. I'm sorry, madam. If only I had pushed him a bit harder. If only I had a little more influence, you might not be in this situation. I thought I could be of some help, but I guess I'm not doing a great job of that. Of course not, Maria. You absolutely are. Just your being here takes a great weight off my shoulders. Still, though, I feel so worthless. Because I'm just a maid, I can't set you free. It's okay. I'm used to being imprisoned. What? What do you mean you're used to it? You never locked your door before. You're right. I'm not sure why, but I feel as though I have been in a similar predicament before, lacking freedom and contact with others for a long stretch of time. I'm sure it's simply the exhaustion getting to you, madam. No one should ever be used to living like this. Yes, I agree. And I pray things go back to the way they were soon. Has getting mad at him never crossed your mind? Getting mad? Yeah. You know, when he yells, you yell back. Let me know who's in the wrong. Never considered doing that? I guess you're not one to get angry, madam. Which would mean you're a better fit for the Holy Mother than me. Oh no. I do sometimes want to get angry. To tell you the truth, it's almost always going through my mind how, if I did raise my voice, perhaps he would listen to what I have to say. But when I'm standing there in front of him, and he starts shouting at me, I freeze up and end up not saying a word. I'm just such a pitiful woman. Everything about me. When I need to speak up most, to stand up for myself, I cannot. Oh, don't look so down. That's not a bad thing. It's just got you in a little bit of a pickle right now. But I'll clear everything up with him, you hear me? In my mind, your modesty is a virtue. And the more I think about it, I can't even imagine you screaming. I like you better the way you are, reserved and ladylike. You can leave all the yelling to me. I'll do whatever I can to help you, madam. Were you able to clear up his confusion about the night when we were dancing? Oh, about that. Sorry, he just wouldn't hear it. I see. But I'm not throwing in the towel. I'll keep trying as long as it takes. So... Say, Maria, could I perhaps ask another favor? Huh? Yeah, sure, let me have it. I would like to write him a letter. A letter? To someone who lives in the same house? Yes. As things stand, I cannot simply go visit him on a whim, and I feel as though I could calmly express on paper things I am unable to say to him face to face. I suspect I might have more luck that way. I also believe he would be more likely to maintain his composure reading my thoughts in a letter than hearing them from my mouth. With it, I can clear up all the confusion, and things can go back to the way they were. A letter, huh? Interesting. I'll write a letter, which I would like you to deliver to him. May I ask that of you? Absolutely, not a problem. Thank you, Maria. You are the only person I can count on, and I mean that. Why? How did this happen? Why would she betray me? I wanted to give her a decently happy life. I didn't want to get violent with her. Yet, when I saw her face, when I heard what she had to say, I couldn't restrain myself. I guess what it comes down to is that no matter how you dress it up, I'm still a Bersati. There was never any way for this bloodline to give that girl happiness. God damn it. Why am I fretting over this nonsense? And I'm supposed to be the future head? Ha! An illusion. But they're dancing. They really are. And they look like they're having a wonderful time. Are you sure it's an illusion and not something else? To me, it does not seem to be. I cannot see it as anything but two tiny people dancing. That's how it works. Reach out your hand and try grab them. You won't be able to. Ah, you're right. That's a shame. I didn't think you actually would. But it's the most precious thing. They look as though they're dancing atop my palm. It's almost frightening how much innocence rests within those hands. It's as if they've been completely cut off from all the world's filth. My hands, however, are soaked in blood. I fear that bringing her into my world may taint her. Am I capable of protecting this woman's purity? And yet, as I watched her so joyously playing, I felt as though I had gotten close to her. I was the one being a child that day. Jacopo, it's me, Maria. Is it alright if I come in? Maria. It's fine, come in. Alrighty. Color me surprised. I didn't think you'd let me in. Have I ever denied you access to my room? Just look at his change of pose here. I mean, I know it's his standard pose, but like, he was in so much distress earlier, and now it's just like standing up straight, like nothing is wrong. I really like that detail. It's a good detail. Nope, but you've been looking pretty glum lately. I've never exactly been a cheery man. True enough. I know you told me before not to talk about your wife, but I'm going to stick my nose where it doesn't belong today. There's been a lot of chatter among the maids lately about you getting rough with her. I mean, you got the poor thing locked up in a shed outside. You're not leaving the best impression on anyone. Hi Dudu, welcome. You here to box my ears? I don't know, 50-50? The other half is, I'm concerned about you. I know you're not the kind of man to threaten someone without a good reason. You're not. I thought you were friends with her. I am. And it hurts seeing her in such pain. Then why has that not changed the way you act around me? I would think you'd be scorning me with the rest of the mates. Oh, I see how it is. You don't trust me. And we've known each other for so long. This isn't a question of whose side I'm on. You're in pain too, I can see that. You've always bottled things up, kept them hidden. You're too proud to rely on others. But you should probably vent to someone before it reaches the point where you no longer can. Say, Jacopo, do you remember the promise we made a while back? How far back? Back when you were still shorter than me? You were 14 and I was 12. I had to leave town and you came to see me off. Quite frankly, I didn't think you'd come. I was surprised, even if I didn't show it. Jacopo? Where's your dad? Or are you here alone? He didn't even tell me. Ah, there's no reason you have to leave town. My old man says the Campanellas have more power. I should be the one leaving. It's not that simple. Grown-ups have a lot to consider. So don't give me that look, Jacopo. We were kids, but we both kind of started to catch on to the situation with our families and to the bonds that land held on us. Although we didn't know any of the details at the time. My grandpa owned all the land the city was built on, but he was a very conservative man. He didn't try to spread his influence, instead opting to fortify what he already had. I don't know exactly when it first started, but organizations were used to administrate cities. And when we were kids, my dad was the capo familia, and my grandpa his consigliere. But just because he was an advisor, didn't mean he was powerless. When my dad made the decisions, my grandpa was the only one allowed to fight him on them. Your father was a... Oh god, these Italian words. I really should have studied Italian before this. Your father was a capodecina? Capodecina? I have no idea how to pronounce that, I'm sorry. That served under my dad. He wasn't especially happy about that. But parents quarreling doesn't affect their kids. Or at least, that's what I thought at the time, and what you probably thought too. But there was still a chance we could be caught in the crossfire, so my dad decided to send me and my mom away. Off the island, and to the north, where some more my god, I can't read anymore, I'm so sorry. Off the island and to the north were some more prosperous areas. He thought that by sending us there, we could live our lives clean, regardless of where we came from. There's no change in what's in your blood, though. You could have told me too. Or were you planning on leaving without saying anything? No, it was just... all decided so quickly. Why do you sound so accepting? Adults have a lot to consider. You bet they do, but you could at least let them know you're opposed to it, Maria. But no, your tail went straight between your legs as soon as you were told. You just gave up and accepted it straight away. I thought you were better than that. You think I don't know that? Will I just be in my dad's way if I stay? I'm a kid, a girl. I wouldn't be of any help if something happened. And I don't want someone to protect me. I never once thought of you as a girl. Hey now, that's mean. Oh jeez, thanks Jacopo. Now you're getting me all mushy too. If anyone should be sad here, it's me. I am not sad. Oh really? You sure you're not actually torn that I won't be around anymore? You're a huge crybaby after all, Jacopino. Hey, when have I ever cried? And don't call me that. I made you mad. Short fused as ever, I see. You gotta learn to keep your head. You're a man, and the heir to the Barsatti family. Don't you lecture me. Tsk, so pig-headed. You could at least listen to me this once, before I'm gone. Hey Maria. Got a little time to spare? Yeah, sure, but not much. The carriage is gonna be here soon. Do you have enough time for a trip to the hill and back? Yeah, I should have time for that. Because of our families, we weren't really able to get along with the other kids in the city, so we played a lot up at the top of that hill. It became kind of like a little secret lair. There was an abandoned house up there, I guess an old farmhouse or something, and kids love that sort of thing, you know? We called it Casa Nostra, our home, and we pretended it was actually ours. We drew circles on the wall in chalk and used it for target practice. We brought up a bale of straw and used it to make makeshift beds. When either of us got into fights with our parents, we'd stay the night here instead of home. In retrospect, I'm sure they knew where we were going and just let us do our thing. Oh yeah, there was this one time when we were playing and a huge storm rolled in, trapping us up there. The wind wasn't just howling, it was screaming bloody murder. It was blowing so hard I thought the house might fly away. As I recall, you were crying that night. Hey, Nero! You here to see me off too? Ah, there you go, wagging your tail with that dumb look on your face. You have no idea what's going on, do you? It wasn't just the two of us who had made Casa Nostra our home. There was some more... Still, I can't read today, my god. There was one more, a stray black dog. I'm pretty sure it didn't actually have black fur though, and it was just really, really dirty. Of course he doesn't. He's a stupid animal. Oh, don't talk about him like that. He's one of us. What were you planning to do about Nero? Just leave him behind? Nothing else I can do. Yeah, it's definitely too early for me. I just woke up. I tried to wake up early, but no. I woke up about 10, or I mean 9 GMT, so yeah, I'm a bit drowsy still, and my voice is still a bit drowsy, but this is still a nice way to wake up, so I don't mind it. I hope you don't do it too. Can't bring a dog in the carriage. Besides, you're here, so it'll be fine. You take care of Nero, alright? He doesn't like me. You're the only one who can take care of him. Maybe so, but I'm not coming back. He'll starve to death if you don't figure something out. He's a puny runt. I doubt he could win in a fight for scraps. Come on, do it for me? You said you won't be coming back. Did you mean that? Are you absolutely never returning to this town? There's no telling what may or may not happen, so it's best not get your hopes up. Better that than the pain of getting let down. Well, I've turned into quite a cynic, huh? Maybe if I'd been born into a more normal family, I'd be in my room in a pile of dolls right about now, my head in the clouds. I can't imagine you doing that, nor do I think that's normal. Well said. Ah, hey! Stop that, Nero! Quit licking me! It tickles, and you reek! Maria. What is it? Come back. I don't care if you don't know when it'll be. Just don't say you'll never return. No one knows how things are gonna end up. Maybe my old man will gain more power, or maybe yours will. If things continue as they are, it'll be your old man. Then, down the line, I will work in service of the Campanella family. And that's just fine by me. But even if that's not the future that lies ahead, I promise I will make a place for you. So Maria, question. Do you have a crush on me? What? Kidding, I'm just kidding. No need for a what is that word? No need for a conniption fit. I was just playing around. Here I am trying to have a serious conversation and then you... Listen to me, I don't have any of those, those kind of feelings for you. I consider you a lifelong friend. My one and only friend. That's why I came to see you off, and that's why I'm telling you this now. Whether you're a girl or a boy is irrelevant. Friendship lasts much longer than something so fanciful as romance, am I wrong? Don't laugh, damn it, it's humiliating. I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because I agree entirely. Yeah, we've always been on the same page, Jacopo. Maybe we did fight a lot, but there wasn't one we didn't get through. No one else understood just how lonely it was, wearing a mask for all the other kids, trying to fit into their happy little circle. We couldn't afford to be found out after all. Neither of us had any real allies. Except for each other, of course. Nope. I'm glad I got the chance to play with you. If you hadn't been there, I probably wouldn't have bothered caring for Nero either. It was too funny watching him chase you around. You're a sick girl, Maria. So hey, Jacopo. This place will still be Casa Nostra even after I leave, right? So you won't do anything to it, will you? Of course not. This is our home. That was always the plan. Right. Thanks. Though, you know, you being all nice is kinda creepy, Jacopo. It's not gonna start snowing, is it? How rude. Well, if you're gonna be like that, I'm not sure I want to give it to you. Huh? Give what? A present? You should have said so sooner. Gimme, gimme! You don't have a shred of tact, do you? What's it matter? Come on! What do you bring? Let me have it, soldier! Oh, Maria. Consider this a temporary parting gift. You've been wanting one of these for a while. Ooh, is that a cartridge? From a Colt Navy? No way! Did you swipe it? I'll probably catch hell for it too. Wow! Wow! This is amazing! I always wanted to get my hands on the real thing. This is from the one hanging up in your house, isn't it? The one your dad was bragging about. They just started selling them this year, and it's ridiculously hard to get your hands on one, or so I hear. Man, guns from the New World are something else, alright. Ah, just imagining the moment the hammer comes crashing down on the back of this sends chills down my spine. Are you sure you're a girl, going crazy over a bullet cartridge? What's the big deal? I like what I like. You'll get in trouble if you don't put this back though, won't you? Don't worry. I'll return it when you return. And I won't tell anyone I gave it to you. Okay. Well, I guess I'll take you up on that then. Thanks, Jacopo. It'll be my treasure. This goes without saying, but don't you lose it. I'm giving it to you as a symbol of our friendship. No matter how far apart we may be, or how much time may pass, or how things play out with our families, we will always be friends. That cartridge symbolizes that promise. It's a promise, Jacopo. Our families may outwardly hate each other, but I'll always be your friend. Always be on your side. And don't you ever go back on those words. I swear upon this glorious cartridge, this historic land, and the names of my ancestors, I shall not make myself a liar. I trust you, Maria. We'll meet again. It may be many years from now, but that won't change a thing. Our friendship will never fade. Their backstory is so cute. God, you were adorable back then. And short, to boot. But now you're hardened so much. I was flabbergasted when I next saw you. Dressed all fancy from head to toe. You become quite a smug little bastard, I thought. You sure weren't that little kid anymore. You have quite a memory. Well, yeah, I don't forget my promises. And I never forget I'd said I'd always be on your side. The question is, did you remember? I did. I remember every word you said that day. And, as I said, I left Casa Nostra as it was. Though it's quite some distance away now. I imagine if we went back and did a little work on it, we could have it looking just like old times. And Nero? About a year after you left, he suddenly disappeared. And just for the record, I did take care of him, as you told me to. I'm guessing got in a fight with another stray or something. I searched, but I could never find him. Ah well. It has been more than a decade. Not everything's gonna be exactly the same. You, however, haven't changed a bit from the girl you were all those years ago. Neither have you. Sure, you seem different on the outside, but at your core, I believe you haven't changed at all. Still the same old Jacopino. Could you not call me that? I have changed quite a bit, unlike you, and I'm well aware of it. Say, Jacopo, do you consider me supportive? Of everything you could have said? Of course you are. You're constantly supporting me, past and present. You're proof of the existence of a kind of friendship that can transcend gender, blood, and any other such distinctions. You know, it's honestly kind of bizarre seeing you without a stick up your ass. Wow, harsh words. Come on now, hear me out. You almost have me blushing there. Anyway, before you put that stick back up there, tell me something. Am I still your only ally? You are. Of everyone in this mansion, I'm the only one? Yes. If she would, at least, have a little more... The madam? I didn't actually intend to treat her like that. Believe me, Jacopo, I know. I mean, from a girl's perspective, what you did is pretty awful. But hey, I'm not a girl, according to you anyway. I will always be on your side, no matter what. God, I feel as though I'm being consoled. That's what I was going for. I should have never opened up to you. Ah. Hey, now's probably not the best time to bring this up, but I have a letter. A letter? Written by the madam. Here. A letter? From my wife? Let me see it. What the hell am I reading? I was considering keeping it a secret, but having seen it, I thought hiding it from you might only hurt you more, so I decided it was best to show you. Who is this letter for? It's as if, but that can't. I love you? Who is she writing to? I don't know this man. Take a deep breath, Jacopo, and listen to me. The madam is having an affair. Ooh, my god, I love this. It's not a surprise, I have read it before, but it's so good. It's so good. Just how the music goes quiet. I haven't changed a bit. If you seriously believe that, then I got news for you, pal. Anyone who acts exactly the same as they did in the past is doing just that. Acting. Much like I do around you. Our friendship will never change? Ha! What a fucking joke. You picked the wrong girl to put your trust in. And they call you astute. Can you taste the fucking irony? Well, that just made things easier for me. But my god, it's suffocating playing the good girl. That stupidly cheerful little ray of sunshine Maria. Ugh, sickening. On the other hand, the payoff is fantastic. I can't stop. God, watching him lose his cool was incredible. My sides hurts just thinking about it. You're telling me she wrote this? Who else could have written it? It's in her handwriting. Why? Why? Why must she continue to betray me? Has she not taken enough already? What else could she possibly want from me? I told her to stay away from my gatherings. I had a rose garden torn down. And yet still, she finds other men. I warned her, told her it wouldn't happen again. That if she betrayed me one more time, I'd kill her. Jacopo? Out of my way, Maria. I have to talk to her. Ask her what this letter is about, who this man is. And depending on how she answers, I may have to... Hold it, Jacopo. Calm down. Silence! How am I supposed to stay calm right now? Listen to me. Relax. You try to talk to her right now, and you aren't going to get anywhere. You're aware of just how frenzied you are, aren't you? Besides, you think she's going to tell you the truth even if you do manage to ask? Of course not. She may look all prim and proper, but that's not the real her. I don't think she's a bad person, but... Not a bad person. The woman who wrote this letter? To another man! She crossed the line, you hear me? I agree with you there. She's gone too far with this letter. But remember, she's your wife and the daughter of a noble. You know exactly what will happen if you lose control of yourself and do something to her. It's not gonna look good for you. She may be nobility, but I have the Koska. We have our own way of taking care of these kinds of problems. Still, it's plain as day it'll only make a bigger mess. No one else knows about this yet. Are you telling me to act like nothing's happening? When she so blatantly disrespects me? Jacopo, could you let me take care of it? I'm friends with the madam. You know that. She'll listen to me. So I'll make sure it gets through to her. Just how much you care about her. I couldn't ask you. It would be disgraceful. That's nothing to be ashamed of. What did I tell you? I'm on your side, and you're on mine. We're in this together. You can ask me things you couldn't ask others to do. I have tight lips. Anything you ask, I keep absolutely under wraps. Damn it. You're right. Yes, you're right. I'm well aware that I always lose myself in her presence. If I try talking to her now, I probably will do something rash. Yes. I make sure everything works out. Got it? You and the madam can go back to the way things used to be, so you don't have to suffer anymore. I'll take care of it. I'm the only one who understands your pain, and I'm the only one who can help you out of it. She is so manipulative, my goodness. Maria. Oh, don't make that face, Jacopino. Ugh. Thank you, Maria. Please, let her know that even if she is seeing other men, and even if she does silently mock me for not being of noble blood, that I still love her, that I don't want to raise my hand against her. You love her? That's a riot! You're too busy chasing your stacks of paper. You don't have what it takes to truly love a woman. I will say though, I was surprised you lost your head that badly. Quite a little crush you got on her. You could just sit down and talk to her like a rational human being, and presto! All your problems would be solved. But you can't even manage that, which is why you're in this predicament. Once you're convinced of something, Jacopo, you never let go of it. And she's too timid to speak up for herself. Sorry, madam. I got nothing against you. I just didn't expect things to go quite this well. There's no stopping now, not when I got this much momentum. Also, watching a pretty girl like you break down gives me goosebumps. You're still convinced I'm the only person you can trust. How did he react to the letter? Well, yeah, about that. Would he not take it? Oh no, he took it. Just, don't feel too bad about this, madam. He said he's too busy with work, and tossed the letter aside. I told him to make sure he writes you a reply, but he hasn't gotten around to it at all. I see. That's a shame. It kills me to see you like this, madam. I don't get why he has to be so heartless. Not even taking a little bit of time out of his day to read a letter you poured your soul into writing. It's unacceptable. I'm sure he really is busy. He did not throw it away though, did he? I imagine he means to read it when he has more time. Madam, after everything is done to you, you still think he means well? I have faith. My timing was poor, that's all. I believe in him. I believe that the day will come when he gives me his attention again, as he did before. Ah, the poor girl. She is so sweet. She does not deserve this, my God. Madam. So, could I ask you to believe with me, Maria? To have faith that he will once more show me his love? That mine will reach him? Something tells me that it will work if you pray for it. Yeah, okay. If you're fine with me praying, I'll pray. I'll get down on my knees for you, madam. I'll have faith. Thank you. I would like to write another letter. When it's complete, could I ask you to deliver it to him? What happened to Maria? I guess she grew up. I mean, this is pretty much like a mafia story, so both her and Jacopo, I mean, they are not exactly normal people. She's probably just living up to the way of the family, probably. I'll give him as many as you want. As many as it takes for you to get through to him. You really ought to learn not to be so trusting, madam. Take a real close look. You'll see exactly who it was that ground your happy little life into dust. Thank you, Maria. I'm the reincarnation of the Mother of God. Oh God, I can't hold back the laughter. This is a stage of my own creation. We didn't have enough actors, so the playwright had to take on a role herself, but that only adds to the excitement. Yes, this is all my masterpiece. You're just ignorant puppets, dancing to my tune. From the first shot to the last, blind whose fingers is sitting on the trigger. Listen to me, Jacopo. Listen to me, Jacopo, and try to keep your head. I saw the madam, meeting with another man behind your back. You know the arch in the rose garden? The far side's out of sight from the mansion, making it a perfect place to hide. I saw her back there. From the looks of it, the madam is having her meetings with one of the men who comes to your business gatherings. And they don't act like they're just friends. Ah, but just to be clear, I don't have any solid proof. So it'd be best if you didn't mention this to her yet. You wouldn't want to start throwing around accusations only to find out too late it was all a big misunderstanding. I'll get to the bottom of it. So you... I think the madam might have her eyes on several men. Being a woman, you know, I can tell these things. She's giving these suggestive looks, but to whom I can't pinpoint. A lot of people come in and out of this house after all. What? You want to keep her from leaving her room? That might be for the best. With so much going so well, it makes me think even God's on my side. They could just talk it over with one another. But they won't, and they're in deeper and deeper shit for it. You're the only one I can trust, Maria. And the timing that night, my God, it was perfect. Hey, Jacopo. I could just be misreading her, but something seems off about the madam. Like, she's been on edge or something. I tried to take her into revealing what's going on, and she let slip she might be going out somewhere tonight. She's not going with you, is she? You were going out to survey a construction site today, right? Then I'd suggest you get that taken care of quickly. A dance? At this time of night? Yep, and since it's so late, no loud music. All you get is a little whistling courtesy of me. But but this room is too small for... We use the Great Hall! Wouldn't that put us in everyone else's way? He would probably complain about the noise too. No need to worry. Jacobo's out inspecting some factory or something today. After that, he's got a meeting, so he'll be staying the night elsewhere. I thought you would not be back until tomorrow. And how would you know that? No, forget that. Does my staying the night elsewhere have any effect on you? You were just waiting for this opportunity, weren't you? No. What would I possibly want you out of the house for? I'm sure you know better than anyone. What? What is that smell? Perfume? When did you get perfume? And I have to say, you seem to be having quite a time. Look at you. You're out of breath, red as a beet. I made the right decision coming back. Where the hell were you going? I'm sorry. This is all my fault. If I hadn't asked you to dance, and me bringing the perfume only made things worse. No, you need not feel bad about anything, Maria. Everything you did was with my best interest at heart. She doesn't even suspect me in the slightest. And I was able to put that perfume to great use. That money-sucking leech Tommaso showed up at the perfect time too. I'm pretty sure that's when Jacobo started getting actively violent. A jealous man is a wonderful thing, always imagining the worst and making matters worse for it. Wow, is that you, Tommaso? It's been so long. What brings you here? Oh, looky at who it is. Little Miss Campanella. There's a surprise. Didn't expect to see you this side of the Great Blue. Oh, you know, I've been giving Jacobo a hand. Huh, well, color me impressed. After what happened, I wouldn't have thought you want nothing to do with him. That was between our parents. Jacobo didn't have anything to do with it. Well, would it sure be nice for your all younger generation to go through life without nothing to spark that kind of powder keg. Not that that is my place to talk. No need to worry yourself about any of that. So, what brings you here, Tommaso? I'm a little, you know how it is. Having a bit of trouble staying afloat. Ah, I see. So you're here to beg for offerings? Pretty shameless, Tommaso. No point in having shame if it ain't making money. Toss that out with a chamber pot. Hell, might make things easier if I just quit being human altogether. Are you that hard for cash? Unfortunately, numbers were supposed to go up, but for some reason they ended up going down instead. Might be best if you kick the gambling habit. Now, that's like telling me to go off myself. Ha, I bet. So, say, Tommaso, maybe I could pitch in a bit too. Oh, you mean it? That'd be a huge help. There's seriously not a scrap of shame in you. However, in exchange, I'd like you to do something for me. Someone whose face needs a visit from my fists. Depending on the number, I could also possibly cut them into chunks and toss them into the ocean. Whoa, keep it clean. I'm not asking you to do anything like that. What is it then? Something a lowlife like me can do? It'll be easy, and it's nothing bad either. You're going to talk to Jacobo, aren't you? Well, there's something I'd like you to tell him while you're at it. You know he's married, right? He can get pretty nasty with his wife though. That's so? Sounds like she got it rough. She does, and she's religiously devoted to him too. I've been trying to nudge things in the right direction, to get her back on good terms with him, but I haven't had much luck. Ain't that something the two of them should work through? Normally, yes, but it's reached a point where I can't bear to sit back and watch anymore. I don't like seeing the two of them in pain. I want to do something for them. How noble. You're pretty devoted to yourself, little lady. I'm not important right now. You're just doing the right thing. But the thing is, Jacobo won't hear a word of it. I figured maybe you, being a man, might be able to get through to him a little better than me. Doubt he'll listen to me either, to be honest. Come on, you used to be really close though. And I doubt he hates you. I wouldn't be so sure about that. Anywho, talking's something anyone can do. So what do you want me to tell him? I need you to give him a bit of scolding. Tell him the madam came to you asking for advice, and that you accidentally let slip that the way he treats her day to day causes her grief. I never met this wife of his before, you know. It works even better that way. She's so downtrodden she can't talk to anyone about it. She thought maybe you, being family, might be able to help. She's never met you, but she's still latched onto the ray of hope. And I'm sure when Jacopo finds out she brought it up with family, he'll know he can't keep mistreating her. Things like this, they hit home harder when they come from someone on the outside. You make a decent point. Just remember, little lady, all I can do is bring it up with him. Can't guarantee it'll change nothing. That's all I need you to do. Thanks a bunch, Tommaso. Oh right, one more thing. This is some perfume that's grown quite popular recently. Ask him to give it to the madam as a gift. If he won't take it, you keep it. Give it to another woman, sell it, whatever you want. Perfume, eh? Very thoughtful of you. Women do like getting gifts like that. Yes, we do. If Big Bad Jacopo gives her some of that, they'll be lovebirds again before you know it. I'm sure of it. Never thought the day come when I got to play Cupid. Now I'm starting to get kind of excited about this. Stay focused, Tommaso, and thanks. Also, you didn't hear any of this from me. I'm fine just pulling the strings from the shadows. The relationship's in complete shambles. And Jacopo still insists he fucking loves her. And the madam says she still believes in him. Seriously, how stupid can you be? Poor Jacopo. Poor madam. Now then, let's see what this boulder rolls to next. And how far it keeps rolling. Naturally, I will be nudging it along. I can't read today, my god! Naturally, I will be nudging it along its way. Because after all, a play lives or dies by the director's hands. My goodness, I really love this reveal about Maria. It's so cool. Also, I remember when I first read it that I did not expect that, and I don't know why, because considering how the two first doors plays out, I should have expected it to be more than just like Jacopo and the white-haired girl not getting along and all that. That there would be some twist, but I did not see it coming. So when she was saying like, "Oh, the madam is having an affair," I was so shocked. I was so stumped. And I was quite sad too, because I really liked Maria. I really liked her friendship with both the white-haired girl and Jacopo. So yeah, I really felt that betrayal. But now that I know it, I love this. It's amazing. She's so evil and I love it. Yeah, exactly. If they just talk to each other, they could have fixed this. But they are both so up in their heads. She's like not having the courage to talk to him, and he's just too angry to talk with her. So it's just a bit. This is like miscommunication trope done well. I really, really like it because their personalities is what's keeping them from talking to each other, and I think that's really good because a lot of times when there are these kinds of stories where the bad things happens because the characters don't talk to each other, it's usually something like just stupid. They don't talk to each other just because. But in this case, it's really just their personalities blocking them from having a proper conversation with one another. And I really like that. And I really like that Maria knows that and takes full advantage of it. I think that's just masterful writing, and I love it. So I need to quickly run away and blow my nose because it's starting to feel a bit runny. So I'll be back in just a second, so don't go anywhere. I'm back. Let's keep reading. Master, Master, are you shocked? Or do you instead lament this development? I was deeply sorrowful. Though to a lesser degree about Maria's true intentions, and more my shameful inability to recognize her machinations. At the time, I too believed that Maria was the white-haired girl's one and only ally. It was not until everything had drawn to a close that I discovered the truth. Then I now know how the tale ends, you say? Yes, that is correct. Well aware that it was not the case, I told you the story in a way that suggested she was on the white-haired girl's side. Oh my, I wonder if that constitutes lying to you, Master? I merely wanted to present the events to you in order, starting from the beginning, when Maria's ill intentions were still veiled in shadow. I wanted you to know the same feeling of consternation I had experienced. Oh, poor girl. Also, I really love this CG, so it feels so inappropriate, but I'm gonna take a picture, because this is a beautiful CG, even if it's so tragic. I feel like a bad paparazzi standing outside the shed and like, taking a picture. The white-haired girl continued to write letter after letter. They were all addressed to her dear husband, detailing her ever-persistent love for him, and her desire for their relationship to return to what it had once been. My beloved, I am sure your hands are quite full right now. That is fine. It does not change my love for you. Do you remember the day we went out together? That was, perhaps, the most wonderful day of my life. I had a truly incredible time. I still treasure the gift you gave me, for it is the one and only present I have received from you. That reminds me, Maria tried to teach me how to dance. I doubt I will ever progress beyond being laughably bad, though. It would be nice if, someday, you and I could dance together. Perhaps, when you have a little respite from work, we could go out again, maybe take a carriage somewhere a little further away. And we could dine at a restaurant more to your liking. Although, I think the cuisine at the other restaurant was exquisite, personally. Do I perhaps have an unrefined palate? Maria altered the letters before delivering them, however. She changed the addressee from Jacopo to another man. She would cut away the top of the page with Jacopo's name on it, and in the space below write a different name. She could not have mimicked the white-haired girl's handwriting for the full length of a letter, but Maria could make a single name look adequately similar. And it would, after all, be quite difficult to notice minor discrepancies in such a small quantity of text. Again, another letter? Why does she keep writing this? To Jacopo's eyes, the modified letters looked like professions of love for another man. The more she inscribed of her feelings for Jacopo, the greater the turmoil grew within his heart. Even though her love was directed toward him. I can't believe what I'm reading. A restaurant more to your liking? I knew it. You have been going out with other men, all the while pretending to be chaste in my presence. I still treasure the gift you gave to me? God's sake. You have to be fucking kidding. Ugh. But I've ensured she can't leave that room. She'll never see this man again. In time, she'll let go. And so will he. Listen to me. Resigning myself to the hope that everything will fix itself. How did I end up like this? Such a pitiful man I become. On the surface, Maria acted quite heartbroken at the sight of their suffering. But when she returned to her room, the walls echoed with her cackles. She derived a great deal of entertainment from the squirming. The more they withered in anguish, the deeper her satisfaction grew. And both the white-haired girl and Jacopo continued to place their confidence in Maria, the one responsible for everything. The white-haired girl had never possessed a sense of distrust, and so she took everything Maria said as truth, continuing in her agony to write Jacopo letters. Letter after letter after letter. My beloved, are you still tied up with your work? It has been some time since we last saw one another, so I know not what you have been doing of late. I only hope you remain in good health. I would, if possible, prefer to tell you everything in person, but I do not have the courage, so these letters are my only option. Am I adequately expressing my feelings, my love for you? If you have the time, I would appreciate a response. You're never gonna get a response though. Not as long as I'm intercepting them. There's no way I'm allowing these, or your love, to get to him. I could just stop reading them. It would certainly make things easier. But if I don't, my imagination will run wild, fantasizing about her writing to this other man and what she might be putting into her correspondence. I'd be better off knowing the truth than torturing myself with fantasy. It's the better option. Jacopo accepted every letter Maria delivered without fail. He would merely nod as he accepted it, his face contorted in discomfort, and then pore over the text when he was alone. I assume he did not want her to see his heart sinking in the darkness. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. I thought I had put it on mute. Apparently not. Sorry about that. Yeah, they really should just talk, but once again, I really think it's good writing here, because it is in their personality to be like this. It's very consistent, and I really like it. But it is frustrating, because it would be so easy to just talk. But yeah. Had he put his trust in his wife, rather than Maria, he would have almost certainly been able to realize the letters were directed at him, despite the altered recipient's name. Everything she wrote about concerned him, after all. How could someone who had lived as isolated a life as her have so many identical experiences with two distinct men? Why could he not find it in himself to trust her? Perhaps doubting her was simply easier. If you were in his position, would you trust her? Would you maintain faith in her, the woman who had waited so long? Would you believe the feelings she professed for you were genuine? She continued writing letters, day after day, week after week, without hiatus. She had, by and large, run out of things to say, but that did not put an end to her letter writing, she simply repeated what she had written before. Nevertheless, they did not see one another in person. The white-haired girl, forbidden from leaving her shed, could only wait for her husband to pay her a visit. "My beloved, there is a little bit of fog out today. Weather like this reminds me of my home country. I was born on an island perpetually covered in a thick fog. I'm not saying I would like to return, but thinking about it does make me feel rather homesick. Does that happen to you? That reminds me, aside from that one time, you have not told me much of your homeland. It would be nice if we could pay a visit together sometime. Speaking of which, before I left, an exhibition of some sort was held there. I was unable to attend, but perhaps you had a chance when it was near you. I imagine you would have, with your interest in new technology. Next time you have a chance, I would enjoy hearing what they have on display." An exhibition? Ah, that's right, there was one. I was busy, preparing for a wedding. I had no time to attend an exhibition. And while I was doing that, giving you, a woman I had never met before, my full attention, you were giving yours to a different man? Has this been going on for that long? Had he simply stepped up and taken action, it could have put an end to the stream of letters, each of which gave rise to further misunderstanding. He needed merely ask the white-haired girl in person to whom the letters were addressed, whether what they described were true, and the twisted threads of his confusion would have all been unravelled. But he made no such effort, relying instead on Maria to serve as his intermediary. I feel as though I have now, at long last, come to understand just what kind of man Jacopo was. While he had a great deal of pride in his capabilities, he had far less confidence in himself as a person. If he had faith in himself, perhaps he could have put faith in his wife as well. Had his pride not been so twisted, perhaps he would not have been so afraid of being hurt. Indeed, he was afraid. Afraid of being rejected by her. Afraid to have to face a reality where his beloved partner scorned him. Where the woman he loved laughed at him disdainfully. Where she and countless others mocked him. The thought of it paralyzed him. The environment in which he had been raised played a significant part in his state of mind, I expect. Occasionally, the name of the letter would change. Maria was making the white-haired girl out to be having affairs with multiple other men. She could never do any such thing, of course. But Jacopo, thinking Maria to be his only ally, believed everything she said. If I could figure out who this man is, and where he resides, I could make him tell me every last detail about his relations with my wife. But what if that information went public as a result? If news of her infidelity spread, and were to reach Koska? The fate of the Bersatis is in your hands, son. There's a limit to what we can accomplish on this tiny island. If we don't turn our attention outwards, we will wither away and die. And not just this family. This whole land will find itself famished and emaciated, defenseless against invasion as we waste away. I won't stand by and watch my homeland crumble. Sure, our methods may be crude and not always worthy of praise, but they produce undeniable results. The unfortunate thing is, the previous Capo Familia was an incredibly reticent man. It took all he had to merely preserve his small chunk of the world. But I'm not like that, and neither are you. The most I can do is lay the foundation to make it easier for you to work, which means everything rests on your shoulders, both the future of the Bersati family and the future of this country. It all falls on you. The marriage is happening too quickly. It would be madness not to hurry, given the circumstances. You should be well aware of that. We need the Bersati name climbing the social ladder in short order, or we're going to have everything ripped out from under us. If the woman is not to your liking, you can find another one that is. She's only going to be your wife in name. But listen to me, son. You must not allow her to fool around. What are the most vital things to have in our society? Money? Power? Yes, those are important. But what matters most is respect. No one's going to follow a capo familia if they can't respect. They'll try to undermine your authority. Once someone deems you weaker than them, courtesy goes out the window, and that's a judgment that's near impossible to overturn. Betrayal spreads like a fire through a forest, and once that flame is lit, the both of us come crashing down. You must not let anyone look down on you. You must not let anyone think you're the kind of man a woman can walk all over. If, by any chance, your fiancée is ever unfaithful to you, kill her before anyone finds out. Your place is above others. Climb to the top. Never be content with someone above you. And never forget the weight you carry on your shoulders. This is your responsibility. The fate of the Bressatis is in your hands. Kill anyone who stands in your way. He has a lot of pressure on him, to be sure. He's not just like power hungry for the sake of being power hungry. He is so pressured by his family and even his country, his responsibilities. So yeah, as I have said before, I really love Jacopo as a character. He is definitely an ass. I mean, even with all that in the open, now we know his reasons. You can't treat your wife like he treats the white-haired girl. It's not acceptable in any way. But I can understand why, if that makes sense. But it's absolutely unforgivable, but I can understand it with his background and the pressure on him and all that. So, as I've said before, I think he's just such a very human character and so interesting, and I love him for it. Even though I would hate to know him. I must keep intercepting her letters. I must keep her locked up. I still have work to do. I cannot allow anyone to learn about how she disgraced me. Kill her. That's how my old man says to handle it. That's the last resort. It's not. Not yet. Ah. God damn it. It's downright wrong. For me to be even having these feelings for someone. Fuck! Master, your carriage is waiting outside. How are you coming along? Coming along? Oh, that's right. I had an inspection scheduled today. I'll be right out. Have him wait. Is something the matter, Master? You look a little hazy. I'm fine. If you're not feeling well, you should stay. I said I'm fine. It's not your job to try to infer my condition. Yes, sir. Damn it. Keep it on the wraps. Act like normal. You can at least do that much, damn you. Take care on your trip, Master. Yeah. It's not the usual coachman. I also feel like I've seen him somewhere. Your fault. What? That we... Hey, speak up! Die, Jacopo Bersati! Master? There's a knife in your stomach! Oh God, someone, anyone! Silence! Don't make a scene. Call a doctor. Yes, sir. Now I remember where I've seen him before. That's right. I put his factory out of business. I needed it out of the picture to expand my own business. I guess he held a grudge about that. I should have been more careful. Also, I just realized something. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone who has not read Requiem, but this part, so I'm gonna try to be very vague, but this part mirrors one scene in Requiem. I just realized. I have not thought about that before, but it does, and that is amazing. I love this story. I love this story. Blood flows with surprising abundance from a stab wound. It's not stopping either. Son of a bitch. The world is going white. Come on now. You have to be kidding. But really, I can't believe I have not thought about that before. Oh wow. Yeah, I can't believe I haven't thought about that before, because that's quite obvious actually. But I mean, it's been a while since I read the original, The House in Fata Morgana, so that's probably why I never thought about it. But that is so cool. I know very well what kind of man you are. You wouldn't hesitate to lead a blind man off a cliff if it furthered your own goals. You make money of others' lives. You stand up on a mountain of corpses, cackling at everyone below you. For a man like you, love comes as naturally as flying. Guess what? You don't have any emotions. And you never have. You've always been this way. My childhood was day after day of mockery. You're just a bunch of nobodies trying to pretend your name means anything, they would say, sneering and glaring. Maria treated me as an equal, but she was the only one. I wanted to show them up, and to do that, I had to rise to the top, or at least high enough that I could laugh at them. My old man was the only one who wanted that. I did too. I had to make them acknowledge that I had value as a man. Who actually wants to go through life being laughed at? I had to make them recognize that what I did had value, and I needed neither love nor compassion to do it. Or that's what I thought. In the beginning, I only ever intended to use that woman. I simply needed her to build a name for myself. When she had served her purpose, I could simply cast her aside. That's what I thought. Or rather, that's what I endeavored to make myself think. But deep down, I felt bad for her. I pitied this woman, who was being made to marry a man she had never met before. I'm sure what she really wanted was to have a regular marriage with someone she loved. But because her family wanted to cling to their name, she wasn't afforded that opportunity. I wanted to do something for her. It didn't have to be anything grand. I genuinely wanted that. The day of our wedding was when I first saw her. Her face, partially obscured behind a veil, was gorgeous. And crucially, she was smiling at me. I had expected to find only gloom and despondency in her eyes. But instead, she smiled. The moment I saw that smile, I wanted it to be a permanent part of my life. I truly did. want to ensure she always had a smile on her face. Is this my room? I'm alive? Damn it. Ugh. I feel nauseous. What time is it? The world's a blur. So hot. You mustn't get up. The doctor said a bacteria entered your body through the wound. Because of that, you have a very high fever. What are you doing here? I was told you had been badly wounded, but thankfully it was not fatal. Did you make it out of... Pardon? Oh, I see. Maria opened it. Would you like some medicine to reduce the fever? It should help you feel better. Yes. No. Stay by my side for a little longer. Is there anything I can do for you? You can ask me anything. My hand. Your hand? Could you hold my hand? If you don't want to, that's fine. Like this? Your hand is quite cold. It probably feels that way because of your fever. Ah. So, yes? I've done some regrettable things to you. Please forgive me. To tell you the truth, from the moment I first saw you, I felt like you were what I had been searching for my whole life. Laugh if you like. I felt like I had finally found you. But I couldn't act around you the way I honestly felt. You should get some sleep. Could you keep holding my hand until I fall asleep? If you don't want to, that's fine. My hand is in yours. Thank you. You appear to be quite delirious, Master. Those are things you should be telling your wife, not me. It was all a dream. Of course it was. It wouldn't be that easy. And she would never come to my room. She's involved with other men. Jacopo, may I come in? I have another letter. The white-haired girl's persistent letters did not improve anything, but simply stoked the flames of misunderstanding. This continued for several months. Though outside, the sun shone with gentle warmth of spring, the cold, bitter winds of winter still relentlessly blew between Jacopo and his wife. Not allowed to leave her shed, and never receiving a reply to her letters, the white-haired girl's only source of information was Maria. Week after week, her circumstances remained the same, but something else was beginning to show signs of change. Her mental state. It's pointless, madam. You're only wasting your time at this point. I saw him throw your letters into the fireplace. He's not going to read anything you write, no matter how much of your soul you pour into it. He cares more about money and work than love. That's the kind of man he is. Just give up and file for a divorce already. No, No. I will get through to him. Everything will go back to normal. I have faith. All my letters may go up in flames, but my faith will not be lost with them. As long as I keep writing, eventually I will get through to him. So I cannot stop. I cannot. Do you have any idea what he says about you, madam? Jacobo doesn't trust you in the slightest. He goes around calling you a witch. A man-eating devil woman. It's awful. There's no one as pure and beautiful as you. He says, I am a witch. Listen to me, madam. He never for a second actually loved you. He just wanted the influence attached to your name. Wanted to mingle with the upper class. He used you. But last year, when we went out together, he gave me the Finakis wheel at the photography shop. He had the owner make it especially for me. He was just trying to win your favor. If he really cared for you, he wouldn't have gotten you a paper toy. He would have gotten you something like a ring or a necklace or some perfume, a nice dress. Something women really like. Has he ever given you anything like that? He doesn't have any feelings for me. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand to see you going through this, but I don't know when to shut my fat trap. I went too far. The last thing I need to be doing is hurting you worse. You know, for everything I've said, your unwavering dedication is really impressive, madam. I know I suggested you get a divorce, but to be honest, part of me kinda doesn't actually want you to split up. Despite knowing you staying with him is just causing you pain. You made it this far. I'd like to see you make it all the way. Maybe he actually will start paying attention. Your sweetness can melt even his heart of steel. Yes, you're right. I will keep waiting, keep writing, and I will not divorce him. Yeah, alright. So please, keep delivering my letters to him. You are my only remaining connection to the outside world. Oh yes, one more thing. If it's not too much trouble, could you tell me how he has been and what he has been doing lately? I do not have much else to write about. So if I could at least relieve him of some of his work-related stress. I am his wife after all. I should be able to do that much for him. I am his wife. Her dedication to him was perhaps closer to an obsession, but she did not seem to be conscious of the fact that her obsession was killing her. She was visibly losing weight, and her spirit was breaking down. It is said that emotions fade with time, but the opposite can also be true. The act of waiting, of fervently believing for so many months despite the object of one's affection not returning them, can tear apart a person's heart, crush their soul, shatter their spirit. No matter how radiant, how thick-skinned they may be, with enough time, it will wear anyone down. No one is immune. It's pointless, Jacobo. Wait all you won't get her back. If she's going to be writing letters, she could at least write one for you. She looks so pure, pretty as an angel, but God Almighty is only how she looks. You've changed a bit. What? Have I? The old you would be yelling and screaming, chomping at the bit to go storming in on the madam. Now you just go quiet. I'm just a little tired. You could break it off then. What? You've already made a name for yourself in high society. Nobody's gonna suddenly start ignoring you. You more than put her family name to good use. To put it in your own words, it's no longer necessary. This isn't something I really want to say, but the madam has never liked you. She was married after a total stranger and forced to leave her home. I'm sure she felt very alone, and so she sought the companionship of other men. Anyone who wasn't you probably seemed quite attractive to her. So, without getting violent or threatening to kill her or anything, just end it already, quietly and without a fuss. It'll be easier for you that way. I cannot. Because you still love her? That's wonderful, Jacopo. After everything, you still love her. That's just blind, slavish devotion at this point. Perhaps it is foolish, unhealthy obsession, but I still do not wish to sever ties with her. I cannot get the image of a smile out of my head. The look of utter elation on her face as she looked through the phenakistoscope. Those captivating eyes beneath the veil at our wedding. I will never, for as long as I live, forget those sights. Color me surprised. You're a sentimental one. Well, I guess you always have been kind of mushy, haven't you? True to your heart, despite how you may look. That's not a bad thing, though, in my book. There's nothing but pain in it for you now. But all you can do is wait until she stops writing. But don't worry. If you need to let off some steam, I'm all ears. I'll be here for you until she breaks it off with the other man. Maria, you are evil. No, that will not be necessary. What? I know very well that things can not continue on as they are forever. I knew it from the beginning, and I still couldn't do anything. This time, I'm planning on facing her myself. You serious, Jacopo? Yes. I relied on you for too long. I was afraid of what I might do to her. I didn't want anyone to find out that my wife was being unfaithful. And I thought the best way to ensure that was by locking her up away from anyone else. But the situation is not going to improve unless I do something. If I allow things to continue as they are, sooner or later, word of her infidelity will leak. So before that happens, I must face her myself. I must do something. It's probably best if you didn't. I'll tell her anything you want. Make sure things start improving. I appreciate everything you've done, and I apologize for getting you involved in our troubles. But I'm going to end it now. No, I must put an end to it. This is a problem between me and her. You might get violent again if you go see her face to face. Yes, I might. I might do something that would look rather bad for me. But it's reached a point where, until the two of us face up to each other, it's never going to go away. It took me far too long. I wasted too much time trying to find my resolve. I see. You need a way to break the ice then? Break the ice? Right. If you got some convenient excuse to talk to her, it'll reduce some tension and make it easier to bring up what you need to bring up, right? Here's an idea. That transcontinental railroad you've been funding. That's supposed to be opening up pretty soon, isn't it? Yes, it is. There'll be a message by telegraph when it happens, right? You can ask her to be there to hear it. And then you can invite her to ride the first train. You put your heart and soul into this project, and it's finally being realized. It's going to be an amazing day for you, and a day like that's ripe for more good things to happen. It's going to be the accomplishment of a lifetime. Don't look so down in the dumps. You're sending trains across this massive continent, carrying on them the people of this country's dreams. Who says you can't stick a dream of your own in it? Who says you can't stick a dream of your own on it too? Right. Yes, you have a point. A railroad that spans from coast to coast. She's a sickly girl, which makes long trips difficult. But this new rail system could make them much less draining. It would allow me to show her the world. Yeah, that's perfect! I'm getting excited myself. It'll go great, I'm sure of it. Yeah. It will go great, she says. Oh god, my fucking sights! Seriously, they're a goddamn riot, the both of them. They keep on trusting me and keep on getting hurt. You don't have to be going through any of this. Oh my god, Maria, you're terrible. And these people call me the Holy Mother. I bet the real Mary's rolling in a fucking grave. Now, I must say, I wasn't expecting you to make a move, Jacopo. A shame that the squirming loser, paralyzed by insecurity, is a better role for you. If you do end up figuring it out, tough shit. Doesn't hurt anything, just take away a bit of my fun. I don't understand why he's so infatuated with this railroad. I mean, I do sort of get romanticizing steel, but my kind of steel's a little smaller scale. Anyway, I suppose it's about time to get things moving. No matter how this plays out, you will not have a happy ending, Jacopo. You're going to get a real taste of just how much I despise you. Maria! Maria! Oh, there you are! Tch. What is it? I'm on a break right now. You were assigned to clean the cellar today, weren't you? Well, head maid saying it hasn't been done yet. What? I did! I cleaned it! Just a casual once-over, but hey. Well, do it again, and do it right this time. Because if you don't, it's gonna fall on me. And that's supposed to make me give a damn? I mean it. You take care of it. You get enough special treatment as it is. Yeah, right. I heard you the first time. I'll take care of it. And don't you forget it. Oh, for God's sake, why should I have to be the one to tell her? Is she gone? Ugh, what a pain. Who cares if the damn cellar is clean? Not like anyone's bringing guests down there. Yeesh. I guess I should take care of it. Better that than a tongue lashing by the head maid. God, why did I have to be a maid anyway? What a dank place. It's so dark and humid down here. Makes me feel gross. Someone there? Hello? Hello? Is anyone in there? It came from further in. Whoa, it's seriously dusty back here. Who was supposed to clean this last week? Well, clean the whole thing next time, damn it. Oh, you want to talk, Maria? Just make my job harder. Disgusting. Ugh! Damn cobwebs. Oh God. Oh dear God. I do not want to clean this. Ow! Oh, for God's sake, stack this stuff properly. Now I gotta fix this whole mess. For the love of... What's this? Something carved into the floor. Never noticed this before. Someone get bored one day? What do we have here? Bah, it's mostly illegible. Let's see. It's not written in English, but my native language. But it's not modern. It's really archaic. Why on earth would an old form of my country's language be carved into the floor of a mansion built here in the New World? Most of it is illegible, but I can make out one section. Our lives shall be forfeit to the witch's curse. Nevertheless, we must lay bare those with sin upon their souls, for the redemption of those whom are pure. Should you mean not to dispel your curse, we implore of you, O witch, to mark with it only their bloodlines. The blood of the sinners flows through those who dwell within this house, but not I. What in the... A witch? That's crazy. That's crazy. But why does the handwriting look like mine? It's just so coincidentally similar. No one's handwriting is perfectly unique after all. Why am I so sweaty? It's not that hot down here. Nope, forget it, didn't see a thing. Not a chance it's real, just a tasteless prank. This is silly. There's something in this box. Is that a painting? Has that always been here? Huh? White hair, fair skin. Is this the madam? But then, why is the face all torn up? And her clothes look really old-fashioned. The painting seems worn and faded too. Something about it feels off. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's very creepy, unsettling. The writing on the floor, and this painting. What is with this house? It's just a painting. Nothing to get weirded out over. I bet I know what happened. Jacob will probably slash it up in a fit of jealousy. He is a simple man. Seeing this probably wouldn't put him in the best mood. What was that? Is someone there? The door is open. Nobody's there. What's this? A painting? Who could have left it here? Is that me? Why, but my face, it's been cut. No! Why would someone have this painted? Just to do this? Who would do such a thing? You're like a witch, my dear. Like a demon. Your very presence brings misfortune upon others. You're cursed. No, I'm not. I am not. Was it you, Jacopo? Did you have this painted so you could destroy it? Do you really despise me to that extent? Why do you... What did I ever do to make you hate me so? Why? All I'm doing is waiting for you. You worthless tramp. You worthless tramp, are those ears only for show? This house has no need for a garden. I always thought you had at least some sense of taste. Silence, it's all your fault, every last thing. Then say goodbye to your freedom. I'll kill you! Does the mere act of waiting impose upon you? Does my mere presence pervert you? Would it be better if I were gone? Would it be better if I left this mansion. If I left you. I don't think I can wait much longer. There's no end in sight. I can't take it any. There is no end. No, I will set a deadline for when I give up waiting. When the project you pour your heart and soul into is complete. When the railroad opens, I will be finished waiting. And then it's over. How are you feeling, guys? It's getting quite late, but I feel like we're getting close to the end, so I kind of want to keep going. Are you feeling up for more? Or do you want us to keep going on Monday instead? You decide. Yeah, I'm up for it. I think maybe I should just stand up for a bit to relieve my leg for a little bit, but yeah, so let's do that. Let's all stand up for a little bit, stretch, and then we continue. I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I also got some more water, so I'm ready to read some more. Let's finish door 3, shall we? The Pacific Railroad's last spike ceremony was drawing near by the day. That day was, coincidentally, the deadline the two of them had set for themselves. Jacopo to confront his wife, and the white-haired girl to wait for him. And as the day approached, she continued to write letters. She wrote the letters purely by force of habit, despite having been worn visibly thin. I expect that she could not stop, that the act of writing was all that kept her from going mad. By focusing her attention on another person through her letters, she was able to maintain her grip on herself. But that day would put an end to her suffering and despair. When the railroad was completed, all their misunderstandings would be cleared up. They would return to the smiling, happy couple they had been when they first married. The harsh winter would finally come to a close, melting away into the past and allowing them to step into the future. With constant prayer in my heart, I impatiently waited the railroad's opening ceremony. I do not, after all, wish for anyone to fall into any kind of misfortune. And that goes for you as well, master. Now, master, the door is soon to be shut upon this era. Are you prepared to see what happens next? I see. Very well. Then allow us to make our way to that final day. See with your own eyes, master, how this tale concludes. And please, do not let go of my hand. The night before the opening ceremony, the master of the house headed for his wife's shed. There was a tension on his face, but a surety in his step. He had found the resolve to speak with her. Having locked her away for so long in the shed, like a common prisoner, Jacopo was hardly optimistic about what she might say to him. He had undeniably mistreated her, said heartless and cruel things to her, and even gotten physically violent with her. His actions were inexcusable, even if they were in response to her infidelity. Of course, The very infidelity which had driven him to such behavior had not in fact taken place, but he was unaware of that. There was a chance they would never reconcile their misunderstandings, and that this predicament would not have a positive resolution, but he still clung to a tiny fragment of hope. He wanted to start over with the white-haired girl, to make a new future with her. With that desire burning strong in his heart, he stood before the door to her shed and called out to her. "Are you awake? It's me, Jacopo. May I come in? I won't hurt you. I will not raise my hand against you again. I swear to you, I will do you no harm. I just wish to speak. I would like to have a calm, rational conversation, and as such, I will not enter your room until you have given me permission. So may I please come in?" "You won't even give me a response? All right. Considering how you must feel about me, I shouldn't be surprised. Fine, then you don't have to let me in, but please at least hear me out. Do you remember the day, shortly after we first met, when we went on our honeymoon, if you can even call that little walk we took a honeymoon? I was unable to do anything nice for you then either. I had no experience, no idea how to interact with an upper-class woman like you. I didn't know what I should do for you. And yes, I know, that makes me sound juvenile. I have a tendency to say things I don't mean the more perturbed I get. But I'm sure I said things to hurt you numerous times that day. However, at the photography shop, when you saw the phenakistoscope, you smiled for me. I was genuinely pleased in that moment. I felt like I had gotten closer to you. I very much doubt that was actually an appropriate present for a noble woman like yourself. Jewels or flowers or something like that, something beautiful, would have certainly suited you better. And I knew that, but I assumed you would have been given the gifts like that countless times in the past. You are, after all, a beautiful woman. I did not want to have to compete on the same field as those other men. I wanted to be special. No, I wanted to be unique to you. No one had ever shown you anything of the sort before, had they? Frankly, I wasn't sure if a woman of your status would take any interest in a phenakistoscope at all. I imagine you've thrown it out by now, but I choose to believe you sincerely liked it on that day. That, if just for a moment, I caught your eye. Even if you started seeing other men afterwards, that moment was real, wasn't it? Our marriage was, at its core, nothing but an arrangement between our parents, an exchange of money and influence. That was how it began, but that day I loved you. I yearned to see you smile. It's as if I had loved you my entire life. The Pacific Railroad has finally been completed. That's the project I've been funding. Everyone thought I was crazy, but the railroad now stretches across the breadth of this country. A joining ceremony will be held tomorrow. It's going to be a grand event. Locally they are planning on doing a gun salute, and the sound of the last spike being driven into the ground will be transmitted across the country via telegraph. I have procured a telegraph, so we can listen to it here in the mansion. In your condition, you would probably have trouble handling the crowds at the telegraph station. But here, you can celebrate in the comfort of your own home. I suppose what I'm saying is, I want to celebrate this with you. I have made arrangements to make that possible for you, because I wish to have you there with me. Would you be willing, tomorrow, to celebrate the completion of the Pacific Railroad with me? Would you be there at my side? Please, say something. I want to start over. I know very well what I've done to you. You may be at fault yourself, but what I did is unacceptable. But what I did was a consequence of my overpowering love for you. I swear it. Why? Why will you not answer me? Say something. Anything. Please. Please! You can hear me in there, can't you? If you don't want to, you can just say no. If you do reject me, I'll set you free. It won't hurt you, I promise. The door is not locked. Who opened it? Hello? A humid spring breeze brushed against his cheeks. The drawn lace curtains appeared to glow in the gentle moonlight. The white-haired girl was not in the room. Where have you gone? Stupefied, he glanced about his wife's chambers. To my eyes, the neatly organized room appeared no different than any other day. But to his eyes, it was pale and hollow. For the one who was supposed to be there, who was supposed to be waiting for him, was not present. He could not hear her voice from anywhere in the shed. In its place echoed a dry rustling, a sad, pitiful, empty whisper of a noise. It came from the lone object left abandoned atop her desk, the phenakistoscope. It was the one present Jacopo had ever given the white-haired girl, a toy made of paper. When spun and viewed in a mirror, it created the illusion of a man and woman dancing. You still had this? That's ridiculous. I assumed you had thrown it out. The white-haired girl had evidently made considerable use of the phenakistoscope. The paper was visibly worn and tattered, warped in places, and had even begun to yellow. It spun slowly in the wind, rustling and rustling and rustling, spinning in an endless reminder of that day, the year before, though there was no longer anyone around to look through it. Why? But you were with other men. Why would you keep something I gave you? It's so worn. Why? A letter. Beneath the ever-rotating phenakistoscope lay a single sheet of paper. As if drawn to it, scanned the contents of the parchment. It was a letter addressed to Caro mio Jacopo. The salutation, written in its native language, translated as follows. My beloved Jacopo. Did the fruits of your dream turn out as you had hoped? I am sure it was wonderful and impressively fast. A train that can travel across a continent as large as this is like something out of a story. I wish I could have been there to see it. I'm sure it would have been quite pleasant. Like the day you gave me the Phenakis wheel. Am I being presumptuous? I'm sorry. I thought I would keep waiting for you forever. No matter how much you hated or ignored me. But I made up my mind, so I'm sorry. I decided I would wait for you until the railroad was completed. I foolishly thought that you might invite me to the opening ceremony. But it seems I am not good enough for you. I am going to take my leave of your house. So you needn't concern yourself with me any longer. However, I do have one request. Please do not forget about all the letters I wrote. Think back on them from time to time. And do not burn them all, for they contain my thoughts, my feelings, my words, a record of my love for you. Remember, when you can, that I was always waiting for you. No, I was always watching you. I'm sorry, I'm having trouble writing. My ears are ringing. There's a voice whispering to me, calling me a witch. Maybe it's your voice. My visions are blurred. I'm not even sure what is going through my mind. I'm sorry. This was all I was able to write for you. I'm truly sorry. I will leave the Fenakis wheel behind. It was my dearest treasure. Farewell. I loved you. What? What the hell is this? He was visibly rattled, and unsurprisingly so. The mention of the Transcontinental Railroad's opening ceremony, the letters she had written, her dearest treasure, her profession of love for him, and above all, the mangled text that appeared to have been written by someone not entirely in their right mind. Everything about it served to amplify his befuddlement. You waited for me? How can that be? The joining ceremony is tomorrow. It hasn't happened yet. Why? Why did you have to leave then? I'm here. I came for you, just as I planned. The ceremony is on the 10th. A second later, Jacopo gasped. The date written on the letter was the day prior, May 8th. Originally, the ceremony was planned to be held on May 8th, 1869. However, due to bad weather and a labor dispute, it had been postponed for 2 days. This can't be. I made sure you were informed. I had Maria. Maria? The madam was having an affair. Maria. No, you couldn't. Scattered fragments of memory began coming back together in his mind. Maria was the only one who had informed him of his wife's supposed unfaithfulness. And though the letters had not been addressed to him, thinking back on it, they had all been about him. In one letter she had mentioned treasuring a gift. Jacopo had assumed it meant a gift from another man, but in fact she had been referring to the phenakistoscope sitting atop her desk, still spinning in the wind. At long last he finally made that connection, and at the same time he realized that the only person who could have altered the letters was someone they both trusted, Maria. She never, even once, betrayed me. She was not unfaithful at all. She waited unwaveringly for me. And I refused to believe her. I caused her pain, again and again. But his realizations came far too late. The white-haired girl's spirit had broken, and she was no longer at the mansion. Had he caught on to Maria's machinations sooner, things would not have turned out as they had. But he was much too late. Maria! Why? Why would you do this? Clenching the letter from his wife, Jacopo stormed out of the shed in search of Maria. But she was not in the room assigned to her. Where are you? Where have you gone? Maria! Several maids were roused from their slumber by the racket, but no one had the courage to speak up as the master of the house frantically charged through the halls. Eventually, he arrived at his own chamber. He was certain he had closed the door before leaving, but now a sliver of light shone through the gap between it and the frame. From within the room, he thought he could sense someone's presence. When he opened the door, there he saw, comfortably perched upon his own chair, a woman. I've been waiting, Jacopo. She looks so badass. She is so evil, but oh my god, she's so cool as well. Nice room you got here. Though I guess that's only natural, you being the man of the house and all. All its fancy furnishings. You do know this stuff's too good for you, right? And then me, I get that barren little maid's room. Drives me up the wall. So hey, Jacopo. Clear the air with your little lady yet? Maria! I love that look on your face. I'm guessing you didn't make things better then. You know, good and well, that she's not even here anymore. Well, yeah, but I still want to hear you say it, you know? I want to hear from your own mouth that you couldn't keep a leash on your woman, so you locked her up, drove her mad, broke her down, and then she ran away from you. Go on, say something. Climb back on your high horse and start shouting like you always do. Why, Maria? Why would you do this? Why? Why do you think? Because I fucking despise you. I've been trying to figure out how I wanted to end things, but then they just fell apart on their own. The fates are smiling down upon me, I guess. Nonsense. She was waiting for me until the day of the joining ceremony, and I was going to see her on that day. You knew the ceremony had been postponed. That's what you get for putting it all in my hands, for thinking I'm the only one on your side. What did you think I just tell her, like a good little maid? Not a chance in hell. I mean, talk about some fantastic news. You both picked the same day, but you got the dates different. Absolutely perfect. Maria, is that how you always felt? How long have you held this grudge against me? How long? How long? How goddamn dense can you be? Must be nice living in your own little fantasy world, Jacopo. And this is the next capo familia. Oh my god, my size! So you always hated me. At the very least, I fucking loathed you since the minute we had our reunion. At first I did try to convince myself you had your reasons. Didn't make it feel any less unfair though. You had all your money, and all your power, and everything else you stole from me. And then you go and get hitched to this pretty little lady. Oh, don't try to act like you're the victim here. This is all on you. Do you have any idea how I felt? Fallen from grace, made your goddamn maid, having to suck up to you. Do you have any idea how infuriating that was? Or did you think I didn't know anything? Did you think I didn't suspect anything? If you did, then you got your head way up in the clouds. So you were motivated by your grudge against my family, the Bersatis. Precisely, that's exactly it. Your father wanted so badly to be the capo familia, wanted so badly to be in power, that he murdered my dad and grandpa. They say it was a carriage accident, but the ground was all torn to hell where it happened. You want to tell me what kind of carriage accident causes it to explode? As soon as my dad and grandpa died, your dad took over as capo familia. The balance of power in the factions began to change. My family, and anyone with ties to the Campanellas, was either exterminated or exiled. The Bersatis took control of the city. My grandpa's Koska became your Koska. No one in their right mind would have been naive enough to think the Bersatis didn't have a hand in that. The great Campanella family, bitten by their pet dog. Except the dog had rabies. And as a result, in time, that lush historic land will wither away and die. My dad and grandpa, burdened in that dried up earth, are screaming in their graves even now. You can't prove me wrong, can you, Jacopo? And now, first in line to be the next capo familia is you, his son. Naturally. Feels pretty good, don't it? Slaughtering my family, leaving us to wallow in the mud, while you live here like a fucking king. Because of what your family did, I don't have a home to go back to anymore. No house, no prestige, I have nothing left. And that's goddamn outrageous. The Campanellas are supposed to run that city. But instead, You filthy Bersatic curs are crawling over it like some kind of infestation. I am a legitimate Campanella, but I'm stuck being your goddamn maid. If I hadn't been born a woman, I could have become the Capofamilia after my dad and grandpa died. But because I'm a woman, I couldn't retaliate. I just had to sit on my hands and watch the tragedy unfold. It was absolutely miserable. So I had to make you suffer as well. I had to make you I had to make you twice as miserable as I was. You had no reason to hate anyone but me. Why did you make her a part of this? Did you have a grudge against her too? Not particularly. I actually rather liked the madam. Sweet, pretty, kind-hearted, timid, and fragile. Trusted every word I said. A splendid little toy. You thought of her as your toy? Now, can you really call me out for that? You can't. You have no right. You never cared one bit about anyone else. They're all footstools to you. It's a little too late to find yourself a sense of morality. This whole thing, it could have been avoided if you just had a single conversation. But instead, the both of you came crawling to me, saying, "You're my only ally, Maria!" How dense can you be? Of course, I thought you were my ally. I trusted you, as I'm sure she did too. Then you should get your eyes examined, because you can't see a damn thing. Maria. My god, it was beautiful. The way you two blindly trusted me, creating your own misunderstandings and causing your own pain. How you could never seem to get on the same page. Watching it all fall apart. Maria. Is that everything? The extent of your grudge and all you did? Yep. That's everything. All that's left is for me to kill you. Hold still now. I wouldn't want to miss. Maria, you... Does a past mean nothing to you? Was that oath just an empty promise? How could it, when you remember so clearly? Fine, I'll explain it for our little romantic boy. Bad grown-ups will even take advantage of good memories. It's time I finally returned this to you, Jacopo. That cartridge you gave me, packed with your disgusting sentimentality. Ah! Killing you ain't the end, though. All your Bersatic curs. I'll send every last one of you straight to hell. My revenge has just begun. Even if you had been a man, you wouldn't have been suitable Capofamilia. You should have aimed between my eyes, Maria! Jacopo! Why? Why? In a panic, I pulled the trigger, and from the barrel a bullet went flying, quite literally between her eyes. Would anyone ever believe me if I said this wasn't how I wanted things to turn out? Why? Yeah, exactly. I wonder why. The rain just keeps on coming. Wonder if we'll be able to go home today. Hey, Jacopino! Say something, you little wuss! Don't shout! You're gonna give me a headache. The lightning's way louder than me. Ah! You jumped, Jacopino. You're such a baby. You jumped too, and stop calling me that. Don't be scared. Don't cry. I'm not crying. Your eyes are damp too. I'm not crying, not at all, not one bit. Liar. There's no end to this rain, is there? I'm fine, if it doesn't stop. There's nothing at home for me. You don't want to go home? Your parents don't get along, huh? That's got nothing to do with it. Liar. You got it good. Everyone loves your grandpa. Whenever anyone needs something, they come to him. Now there's a great man. Huh? How did my grandpa become a part of this? Oh, no reason. Not everyone likes him. He gets just as much hate as love. Grandpa's not really a model citizen. He's mostly just shrewd. Are you jealous? I'm not. My old man is tough. Oh, though, sorry. My old man is though. Huh? Is he now? Well, your dad's got his good points too, I think. Like, I don't know. He seems like the kind of man who can accomplish big things. Though he seems to be a lot stricter than my grandpa. Oh, come on, I don't get you. What are you clamming up for? No reason. If you don't want to go home, then how about we go somewhere far away from here? Huh? Once it stops raining, let's get out of here. Head up to the capital, find some work. We can make it work, the two of us. Oh, and we'll bring Nero, of course. If we could, that would be nice. Break free of this city and its outdated traditions. Head somewhere bigger, more forward-thinking. If only it were possible. It's alright, Maria. I know you were just joking. We wouldn't be able to find work anyway. If the two of us ran off, we'd be starving in a month. You'd have to be blind not to see that. Right. Let's go home once the rain lets up. Yeah, once it does. But until then, I know, let's sing. Sing even louder than the lightning. Then maybe you stop crying, Jacopino. I am not crying! Come on, let's sing. Oh god, do I really have to sing again? La 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 little la little la little la little la little la little la la. La 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 little la little la little la little la little la little la la. Maria, I may not put it into words, but I trust you understand that I consider you a dear friend. Listen to me, Jacopo. My actions were justified. I did what I did for the betterment of this city, this land. The Campanellas are too conservative. Under their control, this country will atrophy. Progress will continue to lose steam. If we don't push forward, we'll fall further and further behind. Before long, you will be made the next capo familia. But until that day, we will cross over to the New World and establish the Cosca there. Unify us, bolster us, make us strong. I'll handle things back here. I won't let the Campanellas try and strike back. What? You want Maria to... It's dangerous to keep a Campanella so close by. She has to be taken care of. If you insist. But do not let your guard down. Betrayal is a constant companion in this world. I'm giving you my revolver. Keep it on you at all times. Glory everlasting upon our blood, and upon this earth. The best I can give you is a job as my maid. If I show you any more obviously preferential treatment, the Bresatis are liable to step in. Money, power, respect, and enough authority to not take orders from anyone. I thought that if I could obtain all that, I would be able to give you your freedom, and her as well. I wanted to give you both comfortable lives. But none of that got through to either of you. Everything is slipping through my fingers. Her love, my friendship with Maria, both of their smiles. Master? Master! What was that sound? Ah! So much blood! Ah! Ah! Maria! What happened this time? You keep getting stuck witnessing the worst things. What? What? Call a doctor. Someone with tight lips. Do not call the police. And don't make a scene. Got it? If so, then go on. Yes, sir! Right. Not everything has slipped from my grasp. My money and influence are all that is left. That is what you want to do, is it not? You sought money and power, no? Aren't you going to go? Yes, I will. But first, I would like to ask you something. What do you intend to do from here? What am I gonna do? Exactly the same as before. There is but one thing for me to do. I see. Will you eventually find solace in your riches? The way I see it, money and power can be your ally, but they can become your enemy in the blink of an eye. If you do not put them into words, your feelings will never make it through to anyone. For unlike money, humans are not measurable by their appearance. He failed to communicate to anyone what he held within his breast. He was chained down by his place in society, his pride, his relationships, and his own heart. And at some point, he found himself in a position where he was no longer able to speak his mind. After enough time, he likely forgot how to be genuine at all. Or perhaps someone like him simply would not, even if they knew how. In any event, there are many things in this world that cannot be communicated without being put into words. How sad that his tale should end without him expressing how he truly felt. How hard it must have been to never clear up his misunderstandings. After Jacob's confrontation with Maria, the Pacific Railroad was completed as scheduled. Celebratory cheers shook the new world as the last spike was driven into the rails. Jacopo, however, could not even manage to smile listening to the telegraph, and I am sure you can take a guess as to why. The people with whom he wished to share that moment were not there. Shortly following her death, Jacopo held a private funeral for Maria. Then, he commenced a search for the white-haired girl. But he did not do so alone. He hired others to help, did everything in his power to find her, tirelessly searching for many, many years. However, he never was able to locate her, and he spent the remainder of his life alone. Money, power, renown, servants. The world around him was always quite lively, but solitude was his only companion. He waited and he waited and he waited for the white-haired girl to return. The years crawled by, and with no family or loved ones at his side to care for him in old age, he died alone. Okay guys, that's the end of door 3. It was quite a long stream today. I'm starting to feel a bit sore. So let's change the view here for you guys. Whew, what a story. Yeah, as I've said before, this one is definitely my favorite of the prologue doors. It's really sad. It's what makes it so sad is that, as I said, the writing is so good because the misunderstandings are not there just to like, oh, it's a sad story because they misunderstand each other. It's so clear that their personalities, both the white-haired girl and Jacopo, are stopping them from reaching out to each other properly. And I also love Jacopo as an antagonist, because he's definitely not a hero. Or maybe anti-hero, I guess you could describe him as. Because just how he's portrayed in the beginning of the story, he's just an asshole through and through. He's awful to his friends, to his servants, to his wife. You can't really feel any sympathy for him. And then you get to this part and just get revealed like that Maria is behind all the misunderstandings and all that, and also what kind of pressure he has on his shoulders. He's not just a normal man with jealousy, he's like having this huge pressure from the Koska to act like a next head of the family. Like, he has to keep up appearances, he has to keep her in line and all that, because otherwise things will go really bad for the both of them. And I just love that part of the story. It's amazing. It just adds to the tragedy. Like, it's so many layers and I love it. And I also really, really like the hints towards Requiem in the future as well. Like, there are parts that really mirrors that part of the story, and I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, the next The House in Fata Morgana stream will be on Monday, and then we will open the fourth door, which is a very interesting one. Also a very short one, so we'll see if we can perhaps finish it in one sitting. Maybe we can, or it will perhaps be two. We'll see. I mean, it takes a bit longer to read everything out loud like this, but we'll see. And my next stream will be tomorrow. I will be doing my very first writing stream, which will be very interesting. I will hold 2 writing sprints, so if you have a story that you are writing on or want to write a story, it's a perfect time to just jump in and hang out. So I will be doing 2 writing sprints, and in between we will talk a bit about what we're writing and stuff like that, so it will be fun, I think. And it will be tomorrow at 10 GMT, so if you're interested, come and hang out. I'm gonna go and make myself some lunch now, and I wish you all a lovely rest of your day. Bye guys!